What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dripp Strick College Football Podcast. I'm your co-host Jacob with my other co-host, my dear friend Austin. Austin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm feeling great. I'm
That's
feeling
good.
great. We got
Perfect.
a lot to talk about, from conference championship weekend to transfer portal to coaching carousel. Got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
This week we're just gonna do one big episode. We're not gonna divide it in half. So this will, I don't know how long this episode is gonna be, but it's gonna be full of lots of good stuff. Lots of
Yes.
good stuff, and we're gonna start off with a banger. The Pac-12 Conference
Dude, what a
Championship game.
game. This was
Uh,
so fun.
uh,
This was
this
so
was
fun to watch.
this
Like
was
it was,
fun to watch.
yeah, one of my favorites to watch.
I was watching this game at Mugshots in Tuscaloosa.
Oh my
By the
gosh.
way, if you're ever in Tuscaloosa, don't go to that Mugshots. It's horrid. It's horrible.
Okay, I got you.
But Utah upsetted and destroyed USC's playoffs hope in this game. They won 47-24. Cameron Rising, he heard us talking bad about him last week.
Yeah.
We said last week he did not play good, and he's not been playing too well past few weeks. But he said, "I'm mad at these Drip Strick podcast guys," and he threw 3 touchdowns and 310 yards. So shout out Cameron Rising, man.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, potential Heisman, played a good game too, man. He had 363 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns with 1 interception. But this Utah team, they've beaten USC twice this year. Twice. They beat them earlier on this season, and they beat them in the conference championship game when it really mattered. So shout out Utah.
Yes.
Ohio State fans, you better be thanking every single Utah fan you see, man.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. I mean, dude, USC was started this game 17-3. Caleb Williams was going crazy. And I was watching the game, I was like, dang, man, this might get ugly. But dude, Cam Rising, he played tough all game. He really came to play. Did you see the hit on him?
Yeah, dude, that one hit where he
Yes.
got launched, dude.
Yes, bro.
Ugh.
I was on the phone with my brother, and like he was like talking about something, and like I had it, like I saw the hit, and I was like, oh, dude, that dude almost got murdered, but he got right back up. Tough guy. He 3 touchdowns, phenomenal game, phenomenal game. And he was running the ball strong. Obviously, he didn't have a lot of yards, but when he needed to get the yards, he got the yards. And yeah, man, USC so close to making the playoff. Utah spoiled their hopes. Shout out to Ohio State. Now they're going to make it. Thank you to USC. But man, that's just crazy. Like, what a game! Definitely my favorite game of the weekend for sure. And man, fantastic offensive game. Not a whole lot of defense was being played, but big win for Utah. Big win.
Huge win for Utah. But next, we're going to be talking about number 14 LSU and number 1 Georgia in the SEC Championship. They're supposed to be the best conference, but this game was pretty much a blowout from the jump. Final score is 50-30 Georgia. A Stetson Bennett masterclass, 4 passing touchdowns, 274 passing yards from the potential Heisman winner. Kendall Milton had 113 rushing yards with a long of 51. The big thing coming out of this is Jaden Daniels got hurt early on in the game, and they had to start. I believe he's either a redshirt freshman or a sophomore. Garrett Nussmeier.
He's a
He
freshman.
came in. Yeah, he played pretty good against a really good Georgia defense.
For
he
sure.
had 294 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception. So shout out to him. Future quarterback for the LSU Tigers, depending on what Jaden Daniels decides to do next year. But Georgia, obviously best team in the country. I think Michigan is the only team in the country right now that has a chance at beating them. So we'll see what happens in the playoff. But very impressive performance by this Georgia Bulldogs team.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we pretty much knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
There was no surprises here. I mean, literally nothing was out of the ordinary. I mean, Georgia did their thing like they knew we would. They dropped 50 points. Stetson Bennett was having a great game. Shout out him. Phenomenal game. And Kendall Milton as well. Shout out to Georgia, but I mean, this game, it's kind of like we knew it. We both picked Georgia to win, and they did that. But shout out Garrett. He had a phenomenal game as a freshman. So I think the future's bright for him for sure. And I think Jaden Daniels is going to stay back a year. But when Garrett does, when they call his jersey, I think it'll be good for him for sure.
For sure, for sure. Next, when we're talking about Purdue and Michigan, a lot of people were thinking that Purdue, the Purdue spoiler makers, we'll say, would upset Michigan and ruin their playoff hopes, but Michigan was like, nope, and they won 43-22. J.J. McCarthy had 161 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and an interception. But Michigan's offense came from Donovan Edwards, man. Blake Corum did not play. So Donovan Edwards, he's stepped up big time in the Ohio State game and the Michigan game and against Purdue in the Big Ten championship. So shout out Donovan Edwards. But Michigan, I think they're the only team in the country that can rival this Georgia team. I'll be very interested to see what happens later on. If they do eventually play in the national championship. But very impressive win by Michigan. Aiden O'Connell, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
He did not play too great. No passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He hadn't been playing great all season, really. But yeah, very impressed by this Michigan team. Excited to see what they do in the playoff.
Yeah, this was another game that, like, obviously, Purdue's known for spoiling. But, I mean, you look at the stats-wise, this really wasn't out of the ordinary as well. Michigan did their thing. They're the first or second best team, whatever you want to say. I don't really care what anybody wants to say because, I mean, they're equally good right now. But, I mean, yeah, Aiden O'Connell, he fought. He couldn't deliver a W. I mean, the Michigan defense is just, they're nuts. They play great. J.J. McCarthy had 3 touchdowns. He played good. Yeah, but like you said, Donovan Edwards was really the highlight of their offense. 185 yards. I mean, what a bright spot. You lose one of the best running backs in the country, if not the best running back in the country, and you got a backup that is incredible. And he puts that up in their conference championship, 185 yards rushing. So shout out to Michigan. They're very deep in their roster, and I'm very excited to see what they do in the playoff.
Yeah, me too. Next, we're gonna be talking about number 10 Kansas State against number 3 TCU in the Dr. Pepper trademark Big 12 championship. Kansas State actually upset TCU in this game, 31-28. Kansas State has had a really good season.
Yeah.
They've kind of flown under the radar, but they've beaten some really good teams. Will Howard has stepped up big time. He had a good game, but their offense mainly came from Deuce Vaughn, one of the better running backs in the country right now, 130 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Max Duggan was carrying this TCU team hard.
Yes.
He was fighting all game, man. I felt so bad for him after the game because he was fighting hard.
Mm-hmm.
He was crying in that press conference. You could tell he really wanted to win this game. But luckily for him, they're in the playoff, so he gets to keep playing this year. He's also one of the potential Heisman winners.
Mm-hmm.
He was selected to go to New York. But Max Duggan played really good. Shout out to Max Duggan. And shout out Kansas State, man. They're going to beat Alabama in a couple weeks when they're playing their ball game. On right here. Predictions right here.
What? Okay, yeah, dude. This was a great game, man. Right when you picked you picked TCU to win the game, they let you down and they lost the game. So yeah, Kansas State, man. I can't say anything good enough about him. Adrian Martinez, he goes down, but Will Howard comes and steps up. He looks like a great quarterback. And like I've said, I've been talking about Deuce Vaughn all year, and they pulled it out in overtime. Right, I thought TCU was going to be able to come back in it eventually and just find a way to win, as good teams do, but they were not able to. KSU won it, and shout out to Will Howard and Deuce Vaughn. Phenomenal game from both of them. Phenomenal
game, man. This Kansas State team, man, they're looking really good. They're going to beat Alabama in a couple weeks when they play in the bowl game. All right.
We'll see.
Next up, we're talking about the Subway trademark ACC championship.
Eat fresh.
Clemson and North Carolina. Drake May, he must have listened to our podcast or something because we were talking so good about him. We we named an episode after him. And this dude decides to just start playing horrible, man. 2 interceptions, no passing touchdowns. Did have 268 passing yards. But the big story out of this game, man, Clemson won, by the way, 39-10. DJ Uyunglele got benched for Cade Klubnik, and Cade Klubnik played a really good game, man. Only missed on 4 passes. He went 20 for 24, 279 passing yards, and 1 passing touchdown. Cade Klubnik, looked really good, man. He looked really good.
Yeah.
Most of Clemson's offense came from him. But he looked really good. DJ, he gonna transfer. He's transferring. So I'm interested to see where he ends up. Hopefully not at Auburn. I will cry if he ends up at Auburn. Hopefully he'll be at Alabama and start there or something. But Cade Cleveland, man, very impressed. Drake May, come on, man, you making us look bad now. But yeah, shout out Clemson, man. Missed the playoffs this year, but they'll probably be in next year, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, dude, Cade is their guy. I mean, they played DJ the first 2 drives. They went 2 and out in both drives. Cade comes in, and Cade just looks electric, man. Cade looked so good, balling all game. He looked amazing. He played so hard. He was super accurate with the ball. His teammates were balling with him. Great wide receiver play that game. And, man, Drake May, man, I don't know what happened. It's kind of sad. 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions from Drake May. He did have a rushing touchdown. But you told me last week, you said, like, I think this will be DJ's last game at Clemson. And, like, when you said that, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, just because I know Dabo loved him. But you were exactly right. Cade is obviously the guy now. He's going to play in their bowl game, hopefully. And DJ's entered the transfer portal, which probably means he'll leave. He could come back, but he'll probably leave. No. So yeah, shout out to Cade Klubnik. They found their guy for sure.
We're gonna briefly touch on this game. This game didn't really have any implications on anything, but the American Athletic Championship. Number 22 UCF and number 18 Tulane. Tulane has had a really good bounce back year. They had like a horrible record last year. I don't remember what it was, but they did not. They were horrible last year. But they finished this year 11-2. Their quarterback Michael Pratt is also having a bounce back year. He had 394 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns with 1 interception. And then Ty J. Spears, the running back, had 199 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and his long was 60.
Dang.
So shout out Tulane, man. Shout out Tulane. They almost pulled off an upset against Oklahoma last year. I remember watching that game.
Yeah.
They almost pulled it off. I was rooting for them hard. So shout out Tulane, UCF, and Gus Malzahn. I mean, they're turning it into Auburn from a couple years ago, man. 9-4. They're gonna be 9-4 forever if they keep Gus.
Well,
shout out Tulane.
Yeah. Well, you were right about this game too. I picked UCF. You picked Tulane, and Tulane won it. Tulane was up about a whole lot. UCF came back, and I was like, man, they could still come back. They could still win it, but Tulane ended up winning it all. So shout out to Tulane. Great season for them. I mean, they just lost their head coach, but still a fantastic season from them. Michael Pratt is an absolute baller. Shout out to him. It's kind of weird we haven't talked about him all year, but he's had a phenomenal year at Tulane. So shout out Tulane, and I'm glad they finally get some of the recognition they deserve.
Tulane national champions next year. I'm calling it. But that was all the conference championship games that really mattered from the past weekend. But with conference championship weekend wrapping up, there's a lot of new stuff to look at. We got awards, we got transfer portal, we got coaching carousel. But I want to start off and go over the awards. The Heisman Trophy ceremony is actually tomorrow from when we're recording this episode, so we will not go over that. We'll talk about the nominees and stuff, but I'm going to go over the important awards. The Maxwell Award went to Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
Caleb Williams had a really good year. A lot of people saw that coming. Coach of the Year, the Home Depot Award, went to Sonny Dykes.
Yeah,
Sonny Dykes deserved that more than anyone, man. He turned that TCU team around, took them to a conference championship, and now the playoffs. The Best Quarterback Award went to Mr. Max Duggan from TCU.
Yeah, another deserved.
He deserved that. Great year for him. The best running. This is something I don't agree on. Best running back award went to Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
Now Bijan Robinson had a good year. Okay, we're not going to discredit him. He had a good year. He had a great year actually. But Blake Corum from Michigan should have won this award. He was easily the best running back in all of the country.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I agree with
on that.
Yeah, I agree with you. He was I mean, Blake Corum was literally like ranked higher in the Heisman. I think Bijan was like 10th or ninth, and Blake Corum was like 7th or 6th or like maybe I don't know, something like that. But I know he was higher than Bijan Robinson in the Heisman. So that didn't really make any sense. I feel like if he didn't get hurt, then I don't know why, but I feel like Blake Corum would have won it. But yeah, I fully agree with you. I'm glad we agree on that because Blake Corum should have won that. But Bijan Robinson, he's a great running back. Great.
He's a really he'll be really good in the NFL.
Yeah.
And some people argue that he should be going to New York tomorrow, but
Hmm.
it is what it is. Best wide receiver award is going to Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't agree with this. I think it's fair.
I did too.
If you score, he scored like 5 or 4 touchdowns against Alabama, right?
Yeah, it was
5?
nuts. It was like every pass. Yeah, I think it was 5. And
Yeah.
they had
Yeah,
52
he scored.
points. I mean,
If you score five receiving touchdowns against Alabama, one of the better teams in the country, then I think you deserve this award. So shout out Jalen Hyatt. Best tight end award, this is not even a question. Brock Bowers, phenomenal player. Easily best tight end in the country. He's a really good player. And let me see what else we got.
yes, yeah. Jalen Hyatt had five touchdowns.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
for wide receivers, I thought it was going to either be Jalen Hyatt or obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State.
Yeah.
He as well, but I think Hyatt was the right guy. I mean, he was probably the best wide receiver in the country for sure. And then tight end, it was going to be Brock Bowers or Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. He's really, really, really good.
He had a good season too, man. Underrated player.
So yeah, either one of them I would have been happy with for real.
And then the Defensive Player of the Year award went to Will Anderson from Alabama.
I saw that coming.
He won it back to back. Saw that coming. The Best Punter award went to Adam Korsak from Rutgers.
Wow.
Just thought y'all know that, man. Shout out
We
Adam
needed that.
Korsak.
Oh yeah.
But
Join the
that is
pod.
all the yeah, come on the pod, Adam. But I think that is all of the award winners, other than the Heisman Trophy. The 4 finalists for the Heisman Trophy are Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud, Max Duggan, and the 4th one, Stetson Bennett. Now, a lot of people don't agree with Stetson Bennett being there, and I can see I can see it. I see why they're mad. They think that either Hendon Hooker or Blake Corum should be there.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think Hendon Hooker should be there just because he got hurt. I think it shouldn't impact him. He played really good.
Yeah.
He was a really good player. And I thought he should be in New York.
Yeah. Honestly, like I really don't have an opinion on it, just because like I'm not mad at it. If they would have put Hendon Hooker there, cool. If they would have put Stetson there, cool. I don't think it's like a huge thing that like nobody, like everybody agrees that Stetson should not be there, and I don't really agree with that because I mean, I'm kind of old school. I like winners. And Stetson Bennett is a winner. Okay, he's a winner, and he's been winning. He's won a lot of games in his the games he started. He's won a lot of them. So yeah, I don't mind it at all, and he's played great all season.
Yeah, without a doubt, he had a great year. It's just a lot of people that think Hendon Hooker and Blake Corum.
Yeah, it's valid. No, that's valid for sure.
It's a valued argument.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Who do you think out of those 4 names will win the Heisman, though?
I don't know. Like, I was talking to my brother about this yesterday on the phone. Like, there's not really a clear Heisman to me. There's not really like, oh, there's that guy's Heisman moment. He's going to win the Heisman. Like there usually is almost every year.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Manziel, when he beat Alabama, they're like, okay, he's probably going to win the Heisman. Joe Burrow, when he beat Alabama, okay, probably going to win the Heisman. And I would, if I had to give it to somebody, I'd probably pick Caleb Williams. I think he's the best player out of all of them, but even he hasn't had a phenomenal. I mean, there's been a few games this year where he hadn't even been great. And obviously they're not in the playoff either, so but I'd probably give it to him. I mean, there's not really a player that just stands out for sure, But
I totally agree.
Yeah, if I had to pick, I'd say Caleb Williams. What about you?
Yeah, I'd also pick Caleb Williams. I mean,
Okay.
like you were saying, man. Like there was no one player that stood out above it. It's not like there was no Joe Burrow, there's no Cam Newton, no Johnny Manziel this year. Like no one that stood out like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would out of those four names, Caleb Williams. I think he had the best year out of all of them. But yeah, those are all the awards. The Heisman ceremony is tomorrow, so we won't get to know until tomorrow. We won't cover that on our podcast this
sadly.
week.
Next year, maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
We'll be there in New York.
But now, I just want to touch up on the coaching carousel. There's been a lot happening that we haven't been able to talk about yet. First off, Matt Rule to Nebraska. I think this is a great hire. Matt Rule he's a great college head coach. Horrible. Let me tell you, if you're listening out there, he's a horrible NFL coach. He's horrible. Everything he did was horrible. But when he was at Baylor, when he was at Temple, he built those programs from the ground up, made them really good, took them to conference championships, all that kind of stuff, turned them around. Matt Rule, fantastic college coach. I think this is a fantastic hire by Nebraska. A lot of people hating on it. I think it's a fantastic hire.
Yeah.
And then Wisconsin hires Luke Fickell from Cincinnati. They yoink him from Cincinnati. Cincinnati fans are in shambles. They're all mad. But, Luke Fickell, I think this is a good hire. Luke Fickell's had a lot of success at Cincinnati. So shout out Luke Fickell. I think this is a good hire. Now, the biggest hire that's happened so far is Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders left JSU, and we knew all along that he was obviously going to take a job that's a Power 5 job.
Yeah.
So he decides to take the Colorado job, and I think this is a fantastic hire by Colorado, and a good move by Deion. His son Shadur is coming with him. That's obvious. He follows wherever his dad goes. His dad would jump off a cliff, and he would jump off a cliff.
Yeah, he's crazy.
But that's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. When the first time he talked to the current Colorado players, he told them basically if they're not gonna work hard to transfer. Basically.
Yeah.
He told them all to just transfer. But everyone with the transfer portal nowadays, everyone is just wanting to go to Colorado now to play under Coach Prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely the biggest hire so far. I know you got some opinion on this, so I'm gonna let you talk some.
I got you. Yeah, dude, I liked it a lot. I honestly thought he was going to go somewhere bigger. Like, people were talking about him going to Auburn, like, in the middle of the year. I was like, yeah, he's going to get that type of job. And then, like, they were saying UCF was talking to him, and USF, South Florida, was talking to him, and Colorado was talking to him. And I was like, he's not going to go there. And then he got closer to Colorado. They said that he was recruiting players to go to Colorado while he was at Jackson State. And I was thinking, is this really going to happen? This is crazy. And he did it, dude. Shout out to Deion. What a risky move to go to Colorado 1-11. But I'm telling you right now, just listen to that press conference. He's like, y'all go ahead and jump in the portal, because obviously he doesn't want those. Honestly, they're losing players. That's a losing locker room he was in. You know, they're 1-11. Yeah. Those players are not going to be a top 25 team next year. He's got to have newer guys coming in. So he was smart by saying just go ahead and go to the transfer portal, or they're not going to be on the team. And like a day or two later, their starting quarterback entered the transfer portal. You know, he knew he was not going to play. So I'm seeing a lot of people in the transfer portal keeping up with it. A lot of people are starting to get offered from Colorado. A lot of the new recruits, you know, they're already down to their top 3, top 5. They get a call from Coach Prime. They're going to listen to him. They're going on a visit to him. And they might be like, hold up, I might need to put them in my top 5, top 3, and then commit. I'm telling you, they're going to get some big guys coming in. They've given offers to 4 stars, 5 stars players. They can get some guys in the portal where they can be good next year. I think they will have so much talent. Because no matter how good you are, these players want to play for Coach Prime. And I'm looking on Twitter and I'm seeing it. Like, these people, good players that are transferring, like, they want a call from Coach Prime. So, shout out to Deion, man. He's going to change the culture of Colorado. Fantastic hire. I mean, he's already changed the culture in Colorado. They're giving money. They're going to have a lot of money in NIL for people that believe. And he's coming. After the Celebration Bowl, he's coming. And he's not coming to play around. He's not coming to play around. He doesn't want to have a losing program like they have been the past decade or like 2 decades, I'd say.
Yeah.
He
2
wants to bring
decades.
him back to where they were, where they were. And shout out to Colorado, man. I love this move. Jackson State, man, like he said, like not everybody jump in the portal, because I'm telling y'all that portal's dangerous. He told the Jackson State players, like, don't jump in the portal just because, like, he knows that some people don't make it. They don't make it to another team once they enter the portal. So smart by him, and he wants to leave Jackson State a good place. I think Travis Hunter honestly might stay there.
Yeah.
To Jackson
he's
State.
been saying he's staying.
Yeah. So that's huge. I think Jackson State's still going to be good. Obviously, they still got one more game yet. Somebody tell Shador Sanders that. His other son, Shiloh, I think he's a safety. He was like, man, why are you wearing that hat? We still got one more game left. And honestly, he's right. I don't know why he's like over there visiting with Deion too. And but yeah, shout out to Colorado. I'm so excited about this hire. Cannot wait to see what in the next month they do. Deion said, I think he tweeted it this week or said something about this maybe today. He said, like, once after their bowl game's over, he like that same weekend, he said it's going to be one of the biggest recruiting weekends of all time in like Colorado history, which is probably going to be in all of history. I think he's going to get some absolute players. He is going to get some players bringing to him, and I cannot wait to see in the next 2-3 weeks what Coach Prime has in store, and I can't wait till February when we see the second day of recruiting class to see who commits to him. So shout out Deion, can't wait to have him. And yeah, that's just my 2 cents on him, and I'm really, really excited about this hire. This is awesome.
Yeah, fantastic hire by Colorado. Did you see that they don't even have the money to pay him yet?
Yeah, they got to get it.
They were like, yeah, he said that I forgot. I don't know if it's their athletic director or their president or what, but they were interviewing him, and he was like, we don't have the money yet, but I know we will get it.
Yeah, it was so funny. It was like 5 years, $29 million, which is good. Because I mean, Coach Prime's already like stinking rich, so he already got the bag.
Yeah, he already got the bag, but he'd be stupid to turn down that offer.
Yeah, for sure.
Another coaching hire that happened recently that we haven't talked about is from a local team, UAB. They hired Trent Dilfer, former NFL quarterback. He was previously the Elite 11 guy. He was the Elite 11 coach. So I think this is a good hire for recruiting for UAB, because some of those quarterbacks, they develop a good relationship with him and they'll want to come play for him.
Yeah, that's a good
UAB.
point.
So I think this is a good hire for UAB. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but shout out Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's hard to replace Bill Clark. He was so good at UAB.
He was.
Man. Now they got to get somebody else. It really sucks. Really, really sucks. But hope Bill Clark's doing good. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good hire. Good hire.
And then Coastal Carolina, man. By the way, Birmingham Bowl 2022.
Yeah, we're huge fan of the Coastal Carolina.
We're gonna be there. Coastal Carolina loses their head coach, Jamie Chadwell. He turned the Coastal Carolina program around. He built that program up. They've been really good. Underrated team, honestly. No one's been talking about Coastal Carolina this year. Yeah. But Coastal Carolina has hired the NC State offensive coordinator, Tim Beck, as their next head coach. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know too much about Tim Beck, but we'll see how that goes. And Liberty.
Yeah.
Liberty hires Jamie Chadwell.
Yeah.
Jamie Chadwell left Coastal Carolina for Liberty. Good decision by him. Good hire by Liberty. I think this is a fantastic hire by Liberty. And the Liberty former head coach, Hugh Freeze, goes to Auburn. Great hire. Great hire by Auburn. Fantastic. SEC champions, national champions next year.
Okay, bro. Okay.
But this is a good hire. I think Grayson McCall will transfer to Liberty, honestly, if he doesn't enter the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right about that. He'll want to play for him.
And I think
that's a good point.
I think that's all of the coaching, like the big ones I see.
Yeah. Wisconsin got Luke Fickell. Nebraska. I want to talk about Matt Rule, man. Matt Rule's a great hire. He turned around Temple, turned around Baylor, and he really turned around Baylor. He got some great recruits for Baylor. So yeah, shout out to Matt Rule. Shout out to Nebraska. I think they got a good one. And hopefully a lot of players decommitted from Nebraska really the last month, and I know Matt Rule's working on bringing them back and getting some new guys. So I think Nebraska will be a whole lot better next year, but I think they'll be really good in about 2-3 years. Give Matt Rule time to get his recruits in there.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he'll get some transfers in there, but a lot of people is transferring out of there and decommitting from there, so he has a lot to work on. He's a busy man, but I really do think it's a great hire. Also, Louisville, Purdue's coach, the home of the Spoiler Makers. He was the reason. Jeff Brom. He's going to. Where did I just say he's going? He's going to Louisville. Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah, he's going to Louisville.
And their coach left for Cincinnati. I think he played at Cincinnati or something. So Louisville's head coach is going to be the head coach of Cincinnati. And that's all I got, man. That's all I got. We covered a lot today in this episode. We covered a whole lot.
Yeah, we did. I think one last thing we'll touch upon is the transfer portal in general. It's out of control. I think there's over 1,000 players in the transfer portal right now. And a lot of those players are going to end up nowhere, and their careers are over. But I mean, it's out of hand. Deion Sanders is pretty much going to build a team from the transfer portal.
Yeah.
I guarantee no one from Colorado probably will start next year for him. But he's going to build a team out of the transfer portal. But a bunch of teams have lost a lot of good guys. Alabama, they lost a lot of guys.
Yeah, a lot of 4 stars, 5 stars.
A lot of 4 and 5 stars. The transfer portal is going insane. I think they need to bring back the penalty where you have to sit on the bench for a year.
Yeah,
you have to wait a year. I think that would make it calm down some more because no one wants to sit on the bench for a year. But I mean, it's out of hand. A lot of careers going to get ruined. A lot of people are going to downgrade from the team they came from. But they need to do something about it soon. I know you got a lot of opinions on it, so I'm gonna let you talk about it some.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. Like you said, it's just out of control. I mean, you got a guy. I'll use this for example. JT Daniels. Okay, started at USC. Went to Georgia, went to West Virginia. Now he's in the transfer portal again. Probably going to go somewhere else because he lost the starting spot at West Virginia. So he's going to go somewhere else. It's literally, and for the big name guys, it's literally free agency. They can play one season at, let's say, Clemson, get a bag, and then enter the transfer portal. Then go to Georgia, get a bag, then transfer somewhere else, and transfer somewhere. Literally for 4 years, they can go to 4 different teams, get paid thousands and thousands of dollars. It's literally like free agency, but for college players. And another thing, it ruins how old school 2-3 years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago actually. Say you're a third-string quarterback, you were a 3-star, pretty highly rated high school player. You enter the transfer portal because you know you're never going to play, but you were a highly rated player. Now that really ruins their chances for them. It really ruins their chances because the transfer portal's so clogged up. It's so hard to find a spot anywhere, honestly. So it ruins a lot for people because people are just into the transfer portal just to see their value. Some people come back. They just really wanted to see their value, and then they come straight back.
Yeah.
I don't get it, and this cannot be sustained going forward. In 4 years, this better not be going on because this is just free agency for college players. NIL obviously has a whole lot to do with all the good players leaving schools. They want more money to play, and a lot of players need to check themselves before they enter the transfer portal. Be like, am I really that good? Can I just stay here? I'm only a sophomore. Why? I have 2 more years to play. I can be patient, wait my turn. It's just it really sets off a lot in the whole college football, the realm of next year, man. I'm gonna need a chart in August of all the new players going somewhere because I'm gonna be lost. I'm gonna be like, he played for TCU last year. What is he doing on Georgia? I'm gonna be dead lost, and I don't get it. I really don't get it with a lot of these players, and they really need to do something. The NCAA needs to do something about the transfer portal. It's gone way too far. Way too far. You see, for example, all the Texas A&M guys on that 2021 class.
There, man.
Dude, almost everybody is gone from the whole class. They got a bag from Texas A&M. They got thousands and thousands. Probably some of them got millions. And then they're gone. They're to a new team. So there's no loyalty in it anymore. And And yeah, man, just like Texas A&M is a great example. They paid those players so much money, and most of them are not even going to be on the squad next year. I mean, so that recruiting class was pretty irrelevant. So they've got to do something about the transfer portal because it's not going to be able to be sustained for years ongoing. And that's my opinion on it. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of really the whole transfer portal system. Like, yes, I'm decommitting and I'm into the transfer portal right now, and then I get to play the next season. There's no penalty at all for it, and that's pretty unacceptable, pretty unacceptable. And I hate the fact that that's a thing. I truly do. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I got. But yeah, just it's confusing. There's going to be guys next year I'm not even going to know that left, so I got to keep up with it every day. I'm checking. Mississippi State players are leaving. I'm getting sad. But, I mean, everybody's leaving, man. Everybody's leaving. People from Alabama leaving. A&M, obviously, is number one. But, yeah, it's just this whole transfer portal cannot be sustained going on to the next years, for sure.
Did you see the Oklahoma State quarterback Spencer Sanders?
Spencer Sanders, Devin Leary from NC State. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks, honestly.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks that's going to be in the portal.
Yeah.
DJ
Brendan Armstrong from Virginia.
Yep. Phil Yurkovich from Boston College.
Oh, yeah. Went to Pitt.
That made me so sad.
Went to Pitt, man. End of an era.
Going to Pitt. You're going to win the national championship with Pitt, man. Shout out Phil Yurkovich.
I think it's Pitt.
Come on our pod.
Legend.
But that is all I got for this episode.
All right, man. That's all I got. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you're still listening, make sure to let us know. Text us, follow our Instagram, follow our Twitter, and all that good stuff. Leave a like on the channel, subscribe to the channel. It means a whole lot to us. And I'm gonna keep it at this. A lot of big things happening behind the scenes. All right, a lot of big things happening behind the scenes that y'all just
coming.
It's on the low. It's on the low right now. But I'm telling y'all right now, big things happening. Just be ready, stay ready, and that's all I got. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.